Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, we're going to talk about the Phrygian Major or Phrygian Dominant scale. The Phrygian Major scale is the fifth mode of the harmonic minor scale. Its scale construction is 1, flat 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. If I have a D7 chord, it's going to sound like this. So you can hear it has that major third and flat 7 in it, but it also has the flat 9, sus4, and the flat 6, which functions as a sharp 5. The scale has a real Spanish or flamenco style to it. You'll hear a lot of flamenco guitar players using this scale in their improvisations. You'll also hear a lot of jazz players use it because it works really well in minor keys on dominant chords. Well, rock guitarists also like to use this too because it has a real neoclassical sound. You hear a lot of metal players use the scale. They'll take advantage of that diminished 7th chord that's found right in the middle of the scale and play those kind of lines. Or you hear people like Yngwie just whip up and down a diminished 7th arpeggio. When I make these videos on modes, I like to talk about where the half steps are in the scale. So in this scale, you have a half step between the 1 and flat 2, between the 3 and 4, and between 5 and flat 6. These are the places that you can come up with your really interesting voicings, whether you're using minor seconds or major 7ths or minor 9th intervals. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next, let's talk about the triads from the Phrygian Major scale. On the tonic, we have D major, D sus4, and D Phrygian. On the flat 2, we have E flat major, E flat Lydian, E flat minor, and E flat diminished. A lot of them on that. On the 3, we have F sharp diminished, we have F sharp augmented, and we have F sharp Locrian. On the 4, we have G minor, we have G sus4, and we have G sus2. On the 5, we have A diminished, A sus4 flat 5, and A Locrian. On the flat 6, we have B flat augmented, and then on the flat 7, we have C minor, C Lydian, and C sus2. Next, we move to the 7th chords, and there's a lot of them. On the tonic, we have D7, D7 sus4, and D7 sus2. On the flat 2, we have E flat major 7, E flat Lydian major 7, E flat minor major 7, and E flat diminished 7. On the 3, we have F sharp diminished 7. On the 4, we have G minor major 7, G major 7 sus4, and G major 7 sus2. On the 5th scale degree, we have A diminished 7th, A diminished 7 sus4, and A diminished 7 flat 2. On the flat 6 scale degree, we have B flat major 7 sharp 5. And on the flat 7 scale degree, we have C minor 7, C Lydian dominant, and C7 sus2. I'm sure some of you are saying, well, what can you actually do with all these things? You just named all these different triads and 7th chords. Well, take 2 of the triads I named and just stack them on top of one another. Let's say I take D sus4 with E flat Lydian above that. So that would be E flat Lydian over D sus4. Beautiful sound. Or you could put a pedal, D and A in the bass, and I could just play voicings. Like that. Or just grab some of the interesting intervals in the scale where there are half steps, maybe use some major 7ths or flat 9 intervals, create some really cool voicings. Let's say I go D, A, F sharp, that'd be a D major spread triad, then B flat and A, and then I'll go F sharp G. So I took 2 of the half steps in there. I did B flat and A, used that major 7th interval, then I went F sharp to G, which is a minor 9 interval superimposed over that. So next, I'm going to play you 2 different pieces. The first you're going to hear is a piano piece using only the notes of D Phrygian Major. There are no passing tones. There's not one note out of the scale, just those 7 notes. The piece right after there is more of a fully orchestrated piece that uses almost all those notes with a couple exceptions that I made for musical reasons. Let's check them out. This next piece I just put together. It took me about an hour or so to compose it and mock it up. And it's using the same notes as the last. D Phrygian Major. There might be a couple notes that are outside the key, but not, in listening back to it, maybe in one or two spots. But it'll show you how using the exact same 7 notes, you can get a completely different mood. It's not just the orchestration by having more of a symphonic sound. It's the way you put these things together. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. If you're interested in the Beato book, go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. The new Beato book 4.0 is out. Check it out. Check out the new Beato ear training program. If you go to beatoeartraining.com, watch the introduction video. And if you want to support the channel even more, think about becoming a member of the Beato Club. Thank you so much for watching.